Welcome to this episode of the Sports Detective Podcast Show. My name is James Williams, and today we discuss if Joel Embiid is a dirty player. Why are we talking about this? Well, Game 3, Sixers-Knicks in Philadelphia. Right away in the first quarter, the Sixers, not just Joel Embiid, but Kyle Lowry too got in on the action, were basically playing with emotion and physicality, and they were getting up right to that line where you're treading between dirtiness and just hard basketball, and the Sixers definitely creeped over that line a little bit, and the main culprit of that was Joel Embiid. You had 3 plays in like a 3-minute span in the first quarter that the referees had to go and take a second look at. One was a Kyle Lowry hit to the face over Dante DiVincenzo that left DiVincenzo with a red mark on his face. It was ruled a flagrant one. Then a minute or two later, Joel Embiid barrels into Isaiah Hartenstein on offense and appears to, knee him in the balls. Then later, and this is the play that everyone has been talking about online and showing with Joel Embiid, where Mitchell Robinson's going back for a putback layup on offense, and Joel Embiid is laying on the ground, and he's frustrated from the previous call where he didn't get a call, and he grabs Mitchell Robinson's legs and appears to pull him down. If you're a Knicks fan, you say he pulled him down. If you're a Sixers fan, you say, hey, maybe he was trying to adjust Mitchell Robinson where he didn't land on Joel Embiid, or at least that was Joel Embiid's excuse in the postgame, where he said he had flashbacks to the Kuminga injury that left him out for multiple months. And then there's another play that happened later in the game where Joel Embiid kicks Mitchell Robinson, in the nuts while he's doing a fadeaway jump shot, kicks out his leg, kicks Mitchell Robinson in the nuts. So I'll go ahead, show you guys this 40-second montage here of Joel Embiid, let's say, you could say lowlights, and then we'll discuss.
Embiid flare with his leg, caught Robinson right there.
You know what the great
In the series, Embiid's going to fire.
concern. It's not necessarily looking at it from Embiid's, it's just looking at the play. And Embiid's looking.
We expected it to get hot tonight. Physicality already off the charts. And now the officials, for the third time in this quarter, are going to go to the replay monitor.
Yeah, that should be a flagrant one. I mean, that's what we talk about in terms of losing control. He didn't like the fact that he doesn't get the call, but then he just grabs.
Wow. Contact and
Okay, so there are the questionable, let's say, plays that Joel Embiid did on Thursday night. So I'm going to talk about part of the reason it's not even part of the reason. I think it's the exact reason why Joel Embiid did that stuff. He was and this was, obviously a narrative coming out of game 2 where Philly was not that happy with the refereeing crew at the end of game 2 in New York. So Joel Embiid was there was that play in there, that play where he shoots the 3, misses it. There might have been some contact. He, kind of does a jump clap in frustration, stares at the ref. He might have yelled something at the ref. That was the play that was directly before, like immediately before the Mitchell Robinson play where he grabs his legs. So I wanted to point that out. So he was clearly upset about that call. He was so upset about that call. And again, this wasn't shown in that clip, but Dante DiVincenzo kind of approaches Joel Embiid kind of in defense of Mitchell Robinson there after that play, and Joel Embiid's kind of they're chirping back and forth, and Joel Embiid's kind of what are you going to do? But he even says it to Dante DiVincenzo, points back to the offensive side of the floor, and he's like, well, they didn't call anything over there, and I'm really, mad about that. After the flagrant foul was called, Joel Embiid was arguing with the referee. He wasn't arguing with the referee about that flagrant foul call on Mitchell Robinson. He was still arguing about the call that he thought he should have been fouled on that 3-point shot on the other side of the floor. So I wanted to point that out here too. Now, to the part of this discussion too is should that have been a flagrant one? It was ruled a flagrant one. Joel Embiid played the entire game, scored 50. A lot of people think that, hey, if this was the regular season, would that have been a flagrant 2 and he would have been ejected? I think that's interesting to kind of think about there. He also got a technical 2 on that play, and I think that was more arguing with the refs. So he did get a flagrant and technical on that play. So Joel Embiid clearly mad at the refs there. But the flagrant 2, I mean, the reason it wasn't called a flagrant 2 is one, like I said, it's the playoffs, and 2, it's Joel Embiid. I'm okay with them not calling that because it would have to be something that's really outrageous for them to want to kick out Joel Embiid, who is one of the top 5 or 10 most important players in the NBA. And the NBA definitely wants this series to go, 6 or 7. They want this to be a long series because this is, terrific theater, as we are seeing so far in this game. Now, to get into that point here too, as I kind of mentioned off the top, Philly was playing with emotion, playing with physicality to the point where they were, maybe stepping over the line a little bit there. Similarly to kind of how Draymond Green does that stuff. And if Joel Embiid's going to, be a little physical and, definitely not get called for flagrant twos and stuff like that, and if he can play with that emotion and harness it and drop 50, I think he should keep doing that. Now, I don't think he should be, hitting people in the nuts every game. But if it takes him to, maybe have a few physical plays, get a few physical fouls, and he can kind of keep that stuff reined in and not get into foul trouble, I definitely think he should, because Joel Embiid being a monster in this series with offensively scoring, 30 plus, sometimes 40 plus, 50 plus, that's probably the only way that Philly's going to end up winning this series. Now, to get back to our kind of the main topic of this video here too, is basically, is Joel Embiid a dirty player? I'm going to show you guys an incredibly interesting statistic that was circulating online. The Knicks fans that were upset about Joel Embiid dug this stuff up, and you guys are not going to believe this, but Joel Embiid, despite playing less than 50% of the games of Draymond Green, has more flagrant fouls than Draymond. I'll go ahead and show you. This is a tweet and a graphic from Clutch Points on Twitter. It says it here. Joel Embiid has 2 more flagrant fouls than Draymond Green, despite playing 481 fewer games. I believe if you do the math on that, that's around 6 seasons of basketball, regular seasons and playoffs. Are we too hard on Draymond? I know we're not too hard on Draymond. I think we're maybe, if you're going to make that argument, maybe we're a little bit too kids glovesy with Embiid sometimes. And yeah, 21 flagrants for Draymond in 970 games, 23 flagrants for Embiid in 489 games. Wow. That is a very, very interesting stat there. Now, to the defense of Joel Embiid, a lot of Draymond Green's fouls, or let's say dirty plays, aren't all flagrants. That isn't necessarily how basketball works and how fouls get called. Not every flagrant foul is dirty, and not every dirty foul or dirty play, let's say, is a flagrant. So I wanted to point that out here too. So I definitely am not saying that Joel Embiid is a dirty player or he's dirtier than Draymond. The one thing I will kind of say, though, is the dirty player group chat, whether it's Joel Embiid, or excuse me, Draymond Green, Patrick Beverley, Zaza Pachulia was in there after that Kawhi thing once upon a time. Whatever group chat that they might have, being a little sarcastic here, they're doing some scouting on Joel Embiid. They're doing some scouting on him. They're going to be watching him the rest of this Knicks series. And they're going to be investigating on whether, like, hey, should we invite him into our club, the Dirty Players Club, because he's starting to build up a resume here. And if you don't think that at Game 4, I think Game 4 is Saturday night, that we're going to see more, on the lines type of plays, more physical plays where we are getting, we're approaching that line, we're tussling a little bit, getting physical, maybe stuff happening after the whistle. I think we're going to see more of that in Game 4. I think we're going to see more of that as long as this series goes. And this is I obviously don't want anyone to get hurt. Don't want it. That goes without saying, even though I just said it. Don't want anyone to get hurt. But as a person that's just kind of watching this series with no kind of, stakes to it, don't necessarily care the outcome of it. Actually, I do care the outcome. Wait, did I bet the Knicks? I think I bet the Knicks, so I want the Knicks. But other than that, just winning a few dollars. This is very entertaining because we're starting to see a little bit of a rivalry here, because this is the first time Philly, New York have played in the playoffs in I think over 30, 40 years. So glad there's some spice to it. Glad there's some juice to it. And again, my opinion of it, Joel Embiid being a dirty player, I'm going to say no right now. But if we start seeing more, and maybe there's more videos that might come out too of games that we don't remember in the past of Joel Embiid, hitting people in the nuts, get into tussles with people, I might change my opinion. But right now it's no. But if we have more nut hits from Embiid this series, I might change my opinion. So there you have it, guys. It's going to do it for this video here today. If you got this far, thank you for being a real one. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave your comment in the comment section there. What do you think of this video? Do you think Joel Embiid is a dirty player? Do you think that should have been a flagrant 2? What do you think of kind of the overall vibe of this series? Just kind of leave me your thoughts there in the comments section. Hit that subscribe button too. Maybe check out the rest of the Sports Detective podcast channel page. You might find some other videos that you like. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you next time.